Hello, everybody. I know that it's been a bit since my last episode here. To be more precise, it's been a little over 6 months. A solid amount of stuff has happened over this period of time, but ladies and gentlemen, I have not forgotten about this podcast one bit. Fear not. I would like to tell all of you what I've been up to these past 6 months. I wouldn't say that it's anything too spectacular, but either way, I'd like to share and address the state of this podcast moving forward. The day, excuse me, the day after I posted my last episode on my birthday, my grandmother and I traveled to Florida because a cousin of mine was graduating university. It was a monumental occasion. My cousin, if I am not mistaken, is the first of my generation to graduate from university. A lot of family members traveled to Florida to witness this. My cousin's mother, an aunt of mine, rented out an Airbnb complex for a few days where everyone stayed. And overall, it was a rather cool experience. However, on the way to Florida, my grandmother and I took two connecting flights, and somewhere along the way, my stomach started to hurt. I think it stemmed from that breakfast sandwich and special drink that I ordered from Starbucks for breakfast. Thankfully, when we got to the Airbnb complex, I slept for over 12 hours that night. And when I woke, I felt much better. I also remember the graduation ceremony being rather long because I just remember my butt was starting to hurt just from sitting in my seat too long. However, in the grand scheme of things, all of this was insignificant because I was able to see my cousin do something great. So, Gabo, if you ever get a chance to listen to this, please know I'm proud of you. Following my cousin's graduation, I thought that I'd be able to return to my home after a few days. For that reason, I didn't bring much with me, and that includes my podcasting equipment. Much to my frustration and disappointment, we didn't stay in Florida for a few days. Days turned to weeks, which turned to months. 3 months, to be exact. My grandmother and I returned home in early August, so that was why I didn't upload anything, or at least that's part of the reason why. Now, on a side note, even though I felt increasingly frustrated, my experience in Florida wasn't entirely meaningless. I got my driver's license. I watched an incredible anime that I should definitely talk about on this podcast. And I revived my YouTube channel, where I do an ongoing series where I work on my ability to improvise as a musician. Following my return in August, I had about 3 weeks of spare time on my hands, and I fully admit that I wasn't focused on my podcast as much as I would have liked to. I ended up cleaning up my house and yard a great deal with the help of some great neighbors. It's not entirely perfect, but it looks much better than when we initially arrived. All in all, I was just focused on cleaning up my house and catching up with the homies on PlayStation playing games. And admittedly, the podcast was in the back of my mind. Then, in late August, I started a new chapter of my life. I have been doing courses at a community college. This experience definitely deserves an episode of its own. It's consumed a lot of my time. I am a full-time online student, so I do all my learning at home. It's taught me a great deal, hence why I like to go more in depth on this subject in another episode. I started the semester taking 4 classes. But one class was 8 weeks long, so I finished that in October. The rest of my classes are 16 weeks. Right now, I took four at the beginning of the semester. I finished one in October, so right now I'm taking three classes. The workload, it feels a little bit lighter. A little bit. But I still need to stay on top of things. But regardless, the workload has given me a chance to breathe a little bit, and it's given me time to pursue my creative endeavors, like this podcast. Speaking of which, I would like to address the state of this podcast. First and foremost, this won't be the last episode. Okay, this podcast is not going anywhere. I am not going anywhere. I still plan on making content here. However, with me doing school and all of that, I'm not entirely sure how things will proceed. Right now, I am just taking things one day at a time. On the side note though, winter break is coming soon, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, winter break lasts for about a month. I have so I may have a month's worth of free time. So that leaves me with a great opportunity to focus on my music and my podcast. I'm not sure if my grandmother wants to travel though. But if we do, I will make sure to bring my equipment with me this time. So that is pretty much it. That is what happened the past 6 months since I uploaded uh, last my last episode. I am, as I said, I am focusing on taking things one day at a time, but ladies and gentlemen, rest assured, you will be seeing more episodes. You will be hearing more from me in the coming future. So with that, I bid you guys adieu. Please take care of yourselves, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you.